Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the moment of truth has arrived, the long-awaited return of the ARC Indycar Championship. Round 1 is finally upon us, and it takes us to the Daytona road course, which I often consider basically to be the home circuit of ARC because of how many seasons and different series have started here. That's some form of Daytona. Remember, ARX used to kick off the season here, NASCAR does, GT3 sometimes does, Indycar apparently does. The list goes on and on. A full grid today, and even as a matter of fact, more than a full grid, as 22 attempted to qualify. The 6 that went home, my tablet would like to turn on. And highlight the correct thing. The 6 that went home: Billy Targi, Ayrton Frederick, Jackson Tate, Wade Lee, Jan Torres, and Luke Allen was a big one. What could best be described as failing tech inspection. By which I mean, it took him 7 minutes of qualifying to notice that he had a very small rear wing, and he was in the oval kit. Got his dates mixed up. As Jake Scarborough will be the first one to begin a flying lap as he heads out of the final turn and go on board with the 18 car as Connor Hannick is out of here. Trail braking is the order of the day at the Daytona road course. Turn 1 is no different. At turns 2 and 3, a little mini chicane that can cause some problems on the first lap. Late apex, the international horseshoe, to get a better run towards the second horseshoe. They call it the east horseshoe or something, right? Brake at the last cone. And onto the inner loop to rejoin the oval layout of the circuit. The only hairpin you don't need to trail brake for, and then on to NASCAR's turn 1 and 2. Scarborough revs the engine as high as physically possible. A quick splash on the brakes into the bus stop. Be mindful of how much curb you're taking, as it may either spin you or incur the wrath of the in-game stewards. And then just one more run up towards the start-finish line, a very long run, will conclude the lap of the Daytona road course. First lap of the session from Jake Scarborough will be a 30.5. And then he immediately overcooks it in the first corner, trying to get some more time out of it, and that will be that run over with. A big name of the game, both in qualifying and in just in general, as there's a sign that's doing wind twirlies there. Slipstream will play a big factor in this qualifying session as DIVEBOMB tops the board with a 28 flat. As we saw there a second ago, we saw the I didn't actually take note of who was in what car. Amateur of me. Oh yeah, it was Matthew Stotts following closely behind one of his teammates. I believe that might be Jamie Wright, as Connor's left again. He keeps getting grid penalties for pit lane violations. I think he might be trying to leave to clear them, which I think might be kind of gaming the system a little bit. Oh no, there's Travis Van Oostenrop is behind, trying to get that slipstream down the 2 straightaways to further improve his lap time. And I believe Travis is letting Stotts go through. So they're going to flip-flop, and now I think Travis is going to have a lap where he is the following car, and he will gain the slipstream advantage. Or Stotts will do that. I don't know what was going on there, but alright. Dylan crosses the line once more. He doesn't improve. Only 600ths down, though. Let's see, what, like, big, there's not really any big names. Like, there's nobody debuting. These are all regular suspects here in ARC. Nobody that we hadn't already previously seen at some point in F1, be it the historic F1 or modern AF1. I think the biggest one would be that Tyler Crabtree is making his return to competition after a pretty considerably long hiatus. And he is reserving under 44R in the 61 vehicle. There's a very obvious... Excuse me. Clear my throat. There's a very obvious gap between first and second. Dylan is 1.1, basically 1.2 seconds ahead of all other competition right now. We'll see if anybody can manage to claim that, as we've got quite a bit of traffic heading on to the oval right now. Matthew Stotts is going to pick up plenty of slipstream. He's hooked back up with his buddy Travis, heading down towards the bus stop. I believe it's about a 10-12 mile an hour difference on draft versus not in draft. That depends, of course, on the setup, but it's like thereabouts 10 to 12 miles an hour. Or 20 kilometers for the singular European that is here, and I think actually plays on Imperial anyway. I think Hannick does. I'm not actually sure. Does Stotts find improvements? That was not a time lap. Okay, I'm not wise. I can't find this cursed cursor. There we go. I think Dylan Baum was just attempting to give Logan Cool an aero push. And then he backed up his corner exit so that he may have a proper run to the start-finish line to begin what may or may not be his final time lap. It's hard to be sure. He's hitting 190 in 5th gear. That is quite some top speed. There's another gear in this thing, by the way. I don't know if that's obvious, but... Tire in the grass. Man just did not lose control. We're going to ride on board with him with this lap. He's already shown to have the pace to beat thus far. Using every little inch of circuit out of the horseshoe, heading up towards the kink. Which is basically a non-factor in an IndyCar. A east hairpin, maybe? Is it the east or it's the west? It's a horseshoe. I know that one. It's the second horseshoe. Inner loop time. A little bit understeery on exit, but he'll live with it, I think. If a sector split came up, I didn't notice it. Yeah, some traffic ahead. Not sure if friend or foe. You can never be certain. Well, that car's out of the way. Send it through the bus stop. 135 at the second apex. And here's a cheeky slipstream from somebody who's not his teammate, to my knowledge. I believe that might be... I think that's a conga line machine. Not sure who that was, but that's a huge tow, and that is a huge 27.9. I honestly thought that'd be faster, and then he gets absolutely clobbered by that vehicle. That is session over right there. Who was that? Okay, blue car, particularly in the pits, I would think. Oh, that might have been Gabe Cazzola in the 61. Wait. No, it was Gabe or it was Crabtree. I didn't see. Regardless, I don't really know if it matters too much. Dylan Baum just ran a 27.9. We could sit here for an hour. I'm not sure anybody here would beat that. Stotts and Travis come up to the line. What will they do? Travis will jump his own teammate. He will take a 28.9 to the second row. Who's heading through NASCAR 3? Am I slow? Logan Cool to the finish line. Will he improve? No. Who was that? Nope, now Connor Hennick has disconnected right as the race begins, so that'll be it for him today. And that'll also be it for the session. I don't want to say this is what I expected, but this is what I expected. I kind of expected DIVEBOMB to be the car to beat. I forgot to ask him how to say his name, because he corrected me once, and then I, uncorrected it. I committed that to memory for, a race, but then a bunch of time went by, and by the time the next race came along, I forgot how I was supposed to say his name. It's like the new Liam Angelo Carraig. Carraig? Craig? I don't know. I never will know, and now I don't have to, because I don't commentate F1 anymore. We are going with the calculated risk I think we're resetting for Hennick. One can only assume. Yeah, I was joking about it in the party earlier. It's been quite a long time since we've had a Project Cars 2 lobby not have any sort of problems. I was in the middle of saying we're taking the calculated risk of letting the game do the formation lap when that has a tendency to have problems at Daytona. Or just in general, which is why we never do rolling starts. Manual rolling, or in-game rolling starts. We do manual ones. Here's the invitation for the second attempt. So now we are going to have a manual formation lap anyway, because we're not doing a second qualifying session. We're just going to use an extra lap in the race. This for GTA 7, we could have a grid start at Daytona, because the grid just positioned on the short chute between the 4 and the start-finish. Kind of around where the grandstands start there, there's a little track map there. This game doesn't do that. I mean, they sit here, right? This is where they would sit for a grid start, but they just don't have a grid start option. Now that I think about that, that's kind of silly to me. But, excuse me, I'm not a game dev. Although sometimes I wonder if I could do a better job with some of the ones I see. I was about to run down the grid order, and then I was like, wait a minute, this isn't the grid order. There ain't no way in heck that's Dylan qualified 15th. I almost said 17th for some reason. Yes, 17th in a 16-car race. I guess I'm the 17th player, aren't I? I am the driver that never drives. Other than the 2 planned touring car starts I'm making. And we'll see for Gran Turismo 7's Group 3 series. It depends on how much I hate myself after touring car. But that's neither here nor there. As everyone gets their setups put in. As for how I expect the race itself to go, well, turn 1, or lap 1, turns 1, 2, and 3. I'd be kind of surprised if we get through there with no Indycar parts flying off into the distance, because it is very difficult to do that under good circumstances for an entire field of 16 cars. And that's, like, I mean, real life teams have a hard time doing that. Real life drivers, just turn 1 here is just one of the corners of all time. Now, for anyone that was wondering, the game didn't do shenanigans on the rolling start, the fake rolling start that didn't actually mean anything. And now we have to settle the running order. Once the grid is formed, I'll run down the sequence, and we will get set for ARC IndyCar racing. Back after, it's a yearly schedule, but the championship will take us all the way up till September. I guess there's a reason we call it the Summer Series. I believe most or all of the grid is formed in its proper order. Everyone just trying to catch up to Dylan. So today is grid order. Dylan Baum, Maybe actually, was it Dylan Baum? That's what I've been saying. Travis Van Oostendorp, Matthew Stotts, AJ Knickel. Got some color coding going on here. All the white and blue in the world. And more white and blue with Carter Ritchie in 5th. More blue with Gabe Kozlowa in 6th. Darn it, Jurgensmeyer. Jurg starts P7. Logan Cool, P8. Fidel Fabian, P9. Jamie Wright, 10th. Jake Scarborough in 11th. Matthew Daly, 12th. Andrew Davis, 13th. No, it is David. Sean Kisane in 14th. Tyler Crabtree in 15th, and Connor Hannock starts last, since we had to restart the lobby for his disconnection. And I think he qualified there anyway because he kept going in and out of the lobby to clear grid spot violations. Or grid spot penalties. As it seems a few of the drivers are already starting to double up or something. Not yet. We're supposed to do that out of the bus stop, Travis. Okay, or just don't listen to me. As though you could hear me anyway. We are moments away from the more metaphorical red lights going out. If I could edit, I would edit it like the Gran Turismo countdown, but I can't edit a stream, but it's not how it works. I think we're using the NASCAR restart zone to dictate when Dylan is allowed to floor the gas. I think. It's either that or it is just go at the line. I don't actually know. I'm sure Dylan knows. AJ's probably telling him, but I'm not in the party, so... And just a few select moments. Dramatic camera zoom. We are green. The IndyCar Championship is away once again, and DIVEBOMB is also away once again. Well clear of everybody else. You'll have plenty of space into turn 1, and then it's a game of survival heading through 1, 2, and 3. But if you can get through there, arguably one of the most difficult parts of the race weekend has been completed, and it seems as though everybody has actually managed relatively well. Relatively. I believe somebody fell off. It is Jurgensmeyer fell off on the race start, probably a bit passive into turn 1. We see AJ Knickel taking a wide line through the second horseshoe. Carter getting elbows out by Travis van Oostendorp, and Matthew Stotts attempting to put some form of pressure on that Penske machine in the race lead. And now the Slipstream Festival begins. And, oh boy, it's a jolly grand time for everybody involved. Until it's not. Carter Ritchie's going to scorch ahead of Travis. They'll be too wide into the bus stop on the first lap of the race. Minor contact. And Ritchie runs off the circuit and has to brake for the grass. Or he'll break something else. He lost quite a bit of time from that. He's going to lose position to Cazzola. Possibly to Knickel, but he's boxed in with the 61. Almost went 3 wide, but AJ decided not to murder everybody yet. We're still almost 3 wide as Travis fights for survival as we head to turn 1 once again. Van Oostendorp laid on the brakes, attempting to stave off the assault of the 41 car. We'll tuck in behind the Chevrolet. A dive on the outside from Cazzola, but the outside doesn't work too well here. Did back up the exit, but that only left him vulnerable to AJ Knickel instead, but nothing really doing there. Scarborough pits in on lap 1. Obviously, somebody had to take the loss in the lap 1 chaos. We're about to have another slipstream moment here. Cazzola catching up to Ritchie at a rapid pace. AJ's right there with him, though. But now everyone red lines and stalls out before we hit the bus stop. Oh my word, Carter and Cazzola both a little bit bent out of shape there. They both do well just to avoid leaving the racetrack. Logan too wide with Knickel out of NASCAR 3 and 4. Clearly the better gearbox goes to that Penske machine, or better gear ratios. The same setup that's leading the race with Dylan allows Logan to push past Knickel. Jamie Wright will follow him, and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer will also try. This camera is terrible. I want to look at the corner game. Logan with a wide exit. We all know Jamie Wright and Logan Cool have had an interesting racing history. At that time, they get there clean. Jurgensmeyer and Knickel, teammates in ARX, not here. And AJ manages to grab that place back, in spite of all the slipstream madness. see what Jurgensmeyer sees as we head back out of the interloop here at Daytona. He sees some slipstream in his future, I'm sure. I don't think Knickel is in range of the Penske vehicle ahead. But Jurgensmeyer certainly is. He's going to get alongside Knickel. Go back to track cam for the bus stop. And AJ tucks into line. Right behind that, Hannick trying to recover from his qualifying follies. He has to use a bit more of the racetrack than he's supposed to, but then again, he couldn't really use the racetrack he's supposed to use because there's a 98 car there. Hannick up to 10th after starting absolute dead last. Comes across some traffic, he splits the difference with Jurgensmeyer, and AJ comes into the pits. I believe that is him serving his mandatory tire change on the earliest convenience. Jurg fights to the outside of turn 1, but he doesn't have anything. Up ahead, more chaos. Cazzola moves ahead of Logan through the most constricted part of the race circuit. But Cazzola had best to make good on his escape plan, because that 3 car has it has a mean streak on a straight. And Logan is looking set to grab both places. This is not cockpit view. So he kind of stalled on the exit of the inner loop, so he might have a bit of ground to cover. Hannick watches on in the far distance. But neither one are close enough, as Gabe Cazzola is clearly struggling with some damage to his suspension. Logan with the unique line from the bus stop there. I'd be surprised if the stewards aren't currently yelling at him. If they are, he isn't listening. He's going to get to the outside. Jamie with no slipstream is going to be consumed by Logan. Connor Hannick is dancing through this traffic on the front straightaway. How many places can he make up? He already got Cazzola crossing the start-finish stripe. Cool wide. Too wide with Jamie now heading through turns 2 and 3. They both survive, but Logan down the inside, a huge move. I think Jamie kind of saw it coming. He sort of gave him a bit of an oversized load's worth of space. Too wide through the kink. Jamie's not having that. Or he is. Travis Van Nistelrooy is all the way off the circuit, and Logan Cool takes full advantage of the chaos. Travis will end up at the back of this train, missing most of his front wing. So he won't be in it for too long, I'd have to imagine. Logan Cool now leads this train of cars, and he has the best top speed, sans draft, I would probably hazard to say, of the cars in this part of the field. So he might be able to stay there with any amount of luck. Jamie absolutely sending it through the bus stop. He uses quite a bit of the exit, and he still didn't get a run on Logan. Hannick's got him in his sights. Everyone has slipstream. And everyone kind of tops out of that same 193. Even Logan, without draft, is getting roughly the same speed. Jamie peeks on the outside. There's nobody home. They're both slowly catching up to Carter Ritchie. And we basically got a DRS train in Indycar. That is the best way to explain what is currently on your screens. Keep a watchful eye on Knickel down here, and Travis, since as he's pit to fix his vehicle. That is not Travis. Since he is now pitting to fix his vehicle, he's also serving his mandatory his tire change. Not tire exchange. I'm trying to say stop and change at the same time. Professional commentator, by the way. Not really. I'm not even getting paid. I just commentate because I like watching people race each other. Oh, Jimmy Wright with a huge wiggle through the bus stop. He's forced to take evasive actions or suffer the consequences. Well, he's already suffering consequences, but you know what I mean. At the front, it's about as dead as a doornail. Dylan has a comfortable lead over Stotts in second place, and Carter Ritchie is holding station. The main focal point right now is sort of this battle, for fourth, but Logan Cool is... Oh, actually, no, it is a battle for fourth, because Logan Cool has not escaped Hannock. I don't know what I'm talking about. Fidel Fabian down the inside of his teammate, and he will grab a smooth pass into one. He's going to try the same thing on Gabe Cazzola, but his run died off before the braking zone. Going board with the British driver of Connor Hannock as he attempts to size up a move on that dragster that is the number 3 Indycar. Ugh, excuse me again. I haven't commentated in a bit, so my throat is out of practice. Connor Hannock miscalculates, has to back out to avoid a disaster. And we may be under yellow flag conditions for unknown reasons. Now, that would be Tyler Crabtree, who's not moving at very fast speeds, as he is missing a left front tire. I did believe that is a rule. If a tire falls off of a vehicle, it is an automatic yellow flag. The only thing of note to me is that this currently saves Jake's bacon, as he needed a safety car to even become a factor in this race. What in hell's name did I just come over here to? Matthew Stotts has been utterly assassinated by somebody, and he is now attempting to spin drift his way at about 27 miles an hour with a missing rear wheel. And he's not allowed to loop back around to the pit lane either. Even though it is right back there, he cannot go there. Logic would dictate that that was either the work of Carter Ritchie or Logan Cool, since they were the vehicles behind him on track. And I'm kind of inspecting those two vehicles for damage. Yep, there it is. Logan Cool is missing his front wing. That is the fingerprint on the murder weapon right there. You don't lose your front wing unless you hit something with it. And hitting a Matthew Stotts with your front wing is a surefire way to knock it off. So that might be the end of Stotts' race. He's currently getting a lift from AJ Knickel to be pushed back towards the pit lane. We're probably going to have a bit of a lengthy safety car here, because that's a lot of distance to cover. Daytona is a pretty long track, especially by IndyCar standards. And especially so when you consider most of it is the straightaway. And they're having to negotiate the straightaway at pit limiter speeds, effectively. Yeah, we're going to be here a while. I'm just kind of not even looking at Stotts on the broadcast to sort of avoid... He is retired from the race. What is Logan Cool doing? He's just enjoying... just saying hi to the fans? Am I missing something? So, that damage has been deemed too much I was about to quote a damaged vehicles policy, but we don't have that in ARC, certainly not in IndyCar. Maybe in ARC iRacing, maybe, but not here. Because it doesn't make any sense. I don't think I've ever seen a pit stop in this game longer than 2 minutes. And that's probably due to the fact that any vehicle that would take longer than 2 minutes to fix is probably not in any condition to return to the pit lane, but that's besides the point. Obviously, we can't go green here. No pit stops yet, so the pits will open in the immediate future. And this benefits AJ and Travis, who already made pit stops for various reasons earlier in the race. Does not benefit Jake, though, as he made his pit stop on lap 1, where the mandatory didn't count. Logan Cool has disconnected, so mutually assured destruction for Cool and Stotts alike, as now both drivers are out of the race. And honestly, after the second half of the crash I just witnessed, it would kind of make sense that neither of those cars are driving away from that at all, so... As into the pits we go, I expect to see most, if not all, of the field go in. The only ones that might stay out are AJ, who's not staying out, and Travis, who's not staying. Okay, so indeed, most if not everybody. By that I mean everybody. Dylan's already on his way. Since everybody pit and everybody's doing the same 4-tire pit stop, I can't imagine we'll be getting a whole lot of a shake-up in the running order unless there's some big difference in fuel consumption for some of these drivers. The way that people rev their engines will be dramatically different from car to car, so that is possible, more so here than anywhere else. I know Connor Hannick has definitely lost some places on this pit stop. Could also have just been being held in the box. That just happens, and who it happens to is basically like playing the lottery. While we cruise up towards the start-finish line to get green once more, I'm going to grab a drink and give my throat a break so I can do more yelling for the next 13 laps. Ugh, so much better. I feel like a new man. In retrospect, I should have had the drink next to me the whole time. I didn't think I'd need it, though. I was wrong. As usual, everybody's weaving to heat the tires. Tire temperature can be difficult to maintain at Daytona, as you're spending a decent, I would say 40% of the lap time just running on an oval, making little to no steering inputs. And certainly not high friction corners. And even then the ones that do exist, we don't have many high speed turns. They can kind of, but other than the bus stop, every corner is kind of slow. Are we doubling up here? I don't remember. Carter apparently is. I don't think we do double fall restarts in Indycar, unless I'm forgetting something. Interesting thing is Jamie Wright who has jumped many cars during that pit stop. He definitely was not held in the pit lane. He now sits in P3 as we get set to go green once more from Daytona. I get readjusted in my chair. And we'll get to the second half, or like second two-thirds of this race underway. And Dylan has floored it. We are once again green from Daytona. Carter Ritchie drops the ball and apparently didn't drop a gear as he got off the start. Travis Van Oostendorp takes full advantage. He didn't have to change his tires during that pit stop, so he regained all of his positions. AJ didn't have to either, but I think he did, and thus he's now running 12th. As we look further back on the grid to see if there's any madness going on. Doesn't seem like it. Everybody's basically single-filed out as we head slowly make our way through the infield section. AJ Knickel will sneak to the outside of Juergensmeyer. That's now the inside, a smooth move from the 6 car. Will bag him another position. And now the slipstream cluster begins. As we head down the backstretch, a lot of cars are decently well spread out, but obviously not all of them. Kazola also passed Juergensmeyer on that moment when AJ got ahead. And nothing is amiss heading through the bus stop, so a pretty pedestrian first lap back under green here. Nothing really to write home about other than AJ making a pass. Kazola might look to do the same thing here. He's right up to the back of that 6 car. Connor Hannick might also try the same thing against Fidel Fabian, but they both are redlining. Everyone's redlining. Who am I kidding? Jamie Wright versus Jake Scarborough through turns 1, 2, and 3. Scarborough victorious. And Hannick down the inside of the 98. A little bit of contact. And Fidel concedes after it. I couldn't really tell from the tracks, but it kind of looked like he just sort of turned down on him. So the crime fits the punishment. He instigated the contact, he loses the place. Wow, Connor Hannick just sent it down the inside of Matthew Daly, and Matthew Daly sends it on the outside curb, and he is sent into the big old grass pit in the sky. What am I saying? That doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, Carter Ritchie has a run on Van Oostendorp heading towards the bus stop. But both cars are at their top speed limits, so nothing doing there. Not nearly as much jostling for position on this restart compared to the start of the race. Although we do have Jimmy Wright taking another crack at Scarborough. Meanwhile, Hannick just embarrasses Sean Kisane down the front straightaway. Somebody is pinning in. I heard somebody braking. That somebody is Juergensmeyer. As Jake defends from Jamie at some point when I was trying to figure out who was pitting in. Let's go back on board Connor Hannick as some cones get assassinated off to the right of us here. Hannick just pulls off an outside move against Jamie Wright. Oh no, because that's just Jamie Wright lost control. Never mind. That made it seem a whole lot less intense now, as Jamie will continue to fall down the order, being passed by Knickel. Sean Kisane with a really awkward exit from the inner loop, not doing him any favors. Jamie Wright looks to take that spot back, heading out of NASCAR 2. But he is instead overtaken by Kazola, who might get 2 for the price of 1. No, he brakes conservatively for the bus stop and just settles with the 1 overtake on Wright. Richie and Van Dusendorp literally nose to tail, heading up towards the start-finish. But they're both redlining. Who will be the brave one on the brakes? Will either of them be brave on the brakes? About even, but Travis had the inside lanes, so he is victorious. I hate this trackside view of turn 1. That does not tell me anything of what is going on. Andrew is pitting. Things are somewhat settled out. We have AJ Knickel taking the unique line through the second horseshoe, trying to get a good exit. You have Carter Ritchie, who might be looking at another chance at Van Oostendorp. Might be tough, though, as he's hugging the yellow line down there. Nope, Carter decides against that, and he will maintain third place for another lap longer. Ugh. Bad cough. As Gazzola slips through underneath Jake Scarborough, he grabs some slipstream of his own. We're attempting to play some automotive leapfrog here. And Jamie Wright is the spectator. For a second I thought Jake had lost his front wing, but that's just blending in with the tarmac. Whoops. About how to panic attack. I think we just saw somebody going wide at the International Horseshoe. Richie continues to apply the pressure to the 8 car, not 6. Is that 10? That's 10. I don't know Indy cars. At all. Excuse me. Oh, they're very close to contact there. Another lap of stagnation. Carter Ritchie just using every inch of slipstream, but not able to get an inch ahead of Van Oostendorp. The field seems to have mostly kind of settled into where it's expected to be, and or where it will remain for the rest of the race, barring unforeseen circumstances. Speaking of circumstances, Richie with another peak on the outside of Travis, but just he cannot find the key. Might have something brewing into turn 1, but Jamie Wright just backs out, does not want any part of that. Travis must be sweating in that cockpit. Carter Ritchie is just applying pressure like he's giving CPR at this point, but he cannot breach the CLE driver's defense. Every time he gets a chance, his run stalls out as they both redline. You're looking at another example of that right here. It's going to take some manic move from Ritchie to get this done. And even if he does that, who's to say Travis won't just take it back from him with some slipstream of his own. Another huge run. This time from the bus stop. He'll get too wide, but he's on the high lane, so his run stalls out. Gets back in line, dips back out. Gets back in line, dips back out. It's like an Olympic swimmer. No. We now know the answer to what happened to Logan Cool. His equipment disconnected. As these two continue to play a game of tug-of-war, I do believe Connor Hannock is getting ever closer. Even without the slipstream benefits, these two are costing each other time, compromising one another's racing lines at basically every opportunity. We're going to get another opportunity here. It doesn't seem like much when you do that. No yellow line rule here. Carter Ritchie will finally get it done if you can make a decent bus stop. It's halfway decent, but I don't know if that's clear enough to avoid the wrath of slipstream benefits. Should probably put the camera there. That's a battle for second, but Travis is not close enough. He isn't not close enough. Where's my brain at? My brain is... I think I left my brain back at Wildcrest or something. Cazzola trying to find a way past AJ Knickel. No luck so far. A lot of drivers are on basically the same setup. Oh, big mistake from Ritchie. He worked all that time spent trying to get ahead of Van Oostendorp, and then one missed horseshoe undoes everything. Connor Hannock is stalking these two in the distance, like that guy you met on Craigslist. He's about 3 seconds off of the pair, and he's closing in considerably fast. Ritchie with a huge snap through the bus stop. I think Travis had to let off there a bit for penalty's sake. Travis is very good at holding that yellow line, and it hadn't given Carter Ritchie many opportunities. It's given him one now, though, but he's going to have to brave on the outside of turn 1, which is a Herculean task. Travis, later on the brakes, manages to stop and even hits the apex, too. So, no dice. But now suddenly that 3-second deficit is a mere 2. Connor Hannock is really putting in the laps now. He's running the same laps as the leader, roughly. He's actually had the fastest lap the last time around on the whole track. And he doesn't even have slipstream or anything. Gabe's still holding position behind Knickel. He's not the car to sit behind if you expect to get a mistake out of him, but, you know, you'll get something eventually if you just sit there long enough, but we're running out of laps to get that something. Gabe almost did the something. He looked a little bit unstable there, but he manages to keep the car going in the right direction. Carter Ritchie with overtake attempt number 29, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe somebody's been keeping count at home. No luck in. Trying the way out. Definitely the superior exit, as we've seen time and time again. Travis is definitely feeling it in there, in that cockpit, but just being on the inside lane has just bailed out that 10 car so many times, but finally, once more, Carter Ritchie confirms the overtake, now to stay there for 4 more laps. And that's a missed turn 1. That is not how you stay there, but Travis was not close enough to capitalize. Or was he? No, he does not send it. I thought he might, but he doesn't. Probably knows darn well he can just get some slipstream and do it later. Casola's right there on AJ still. It's been like a bunch of maybes. Droplets of yes and no and an ocean of maybe. But there's been nothing happening in the midfield. Everyone's kind of... It's like 5th through 8th battle is super close. These cars are pretty evenly... Never mind, Jamie's falling off the back of Kasane. So that's a lie. Listen to whatever the heck I'm talking about. This is certainly not what Hannick wanted to see, though. Because now that Carter is ahead, he might be able to remain ahead, as he's able to hit that magic 194, and he doesn't even need a setup, or... he doesn't even need Slipstream for it. And that's also, by extension, not what Travis wants to know either. Who needs the Slipstream to reach that miracle number of 194. Hannick is still running faster laps, but I don't know if it's faster enough anymore. He gained a second on Travis that lap, though, so signs point to yes. Oh no, never mind. They've flipped around. Hannick with a huge moment at turn 1, and his podium chances now just kind of lie in the hands of what these two do. He's too far back to catch that now. Oh, that is literally wing to wing right there. Gabe sneaks a look at the outside of the 6 car. Does he cross him over? I can't tell. No. He backs out, in fact. He does not want to go too wide through the kink. We try at the second hairpin. No. We're in the crunch time now. You gotta get them while they're hot. They're not gonna be going much longer. Oh no, AJ is very wide through the inner loop there. That is the green light for the 61 car. And we'll see what this turns into. Carter Ritchie is comfortably pulling ahead of Travis up there. And they're about dead even. As we pass all of the billboards, they're going to be too wide. They are not. Never mind. AJ, I think, let off there. Oh, that's a terrible bus stop. Oh, you wouldn't fit a bus through there, that's for sure. I don't know what that means, but all that work once again gets undone, and we're back to where we started, because we're right back behind that 6 car. Two laps remaining in this one. Yep. Okay. Gran Turismo 7 moment there. AJ just got such a great exit out of the International Horseshoe that even the game couldn't keep up with how fast. I don't like that. I don't like that. As Andrew Davis gets lapped by the race leader, whose victory has never been even in a shadow of doubt this whole time. I don't know why I'm acting like it's the final lap. We're not done yet. Travis's mistake was much more costly than I ever imagined. Hannick now has a perfect chance. I did say his chances of a podium rely on what the other two ahead do, and now he's there. And he just lagged out. Oh my lord. Oh, that British internet, mate. Oy. Bugger it all. You had everything. Now Connor Hannick has nothing. Call that an engine failure of the league racing variation. I guess that's why I was lagging, because the entire server was attempting to process Connor Hannick's existence. And it has failed. Hannick's car is still there, charging power for 71 minutes. Still everything to play for these two. And these two aren't too far apart either. another average Dylan Baum margin of victory. Some 14 seconds clear of the field, Dylan Baum is going to take the season opener here at Daytona Road Course in a very convincing fashion. Carter Ritchie, P2, Travis Van Dusseldorp, courtesy of Connor Hannick's internet, will survive for third place. But we've still got everything to play for as we head up towards the start-finish line for what is now fourth position. Did Gabe get a good enough exit? It seems like no, so it appears AJ will remain in P4. And as for this battle for sixth, also nothing. And now Connor Hannick disconnects at long last. It took him an entire 2 minutes for the game to realize that he did not have it. Dylan Baum blows the motor in celebration. Any second now, we should be getting the end of our session. And Matthew Daly is out of fuel. He is crawling. He is not going to get there. He will get there now as he is forced to get over there, courtesy of an Indycar. I didn't see who that was. I jumped out of my chair from that noise. Oh my word. I can only assume that was Crabtree in that car. That just, yeah, sent the innocent Matthew Daly back over the finish. And that will conclude matters here as a podium that feels like it was taken straight out of, well, kind of, it's like taken straight out of GT3. Dylan Baum, Carter Ritchie, and Travis Van Dusseldorp are the top three. Couldn't get to me for that one. And this the lobby is over. Going to attempt podium interviews. Adrian never wrote out the scripts I was supposed to use. I was supposed to use like prompts for words. I'm looking at one of the sentences I've ever read of my life in the Discord. I'm attempting to process what I'm looking at in that server while also having to trying to remember the three people that I meant to invite to this party. Okay, well, there's Travis. Carter Riker. That's a person who's not here. I don't. Right? No, he would be here. I'm dumb. He commentates AF1. Everybody should be in here because Dylan and Carter. I almost called Connor. Dylan and Carter are in this party, so they just have to join or be told to anyway. They can.
I think.
As if they can even see the message in amongst whatever was going on in there.
I will be on the podium once I get my penalties removed. They weren't actually penalties, and Connor's was a penalty, so I'll be third and he'll be fourth.
Well, he disconnected though.
He disconnected after we crossed the line.
Oh, well, that's not what I got. What I got on the stream was that Connor disconnected crossing the line to take the white.
Nah, across the white.
No, cross the line to take the white.
Yeah, no, he was still there. He made it across the finish line. I can't confirm.
Weird. I saw everybody activating the hydraulics, and okay, so that means that I might as well just invite both of you then, unless the system turned off. I I'm also halfway tempted to tell Stotts to join the thing.
I might get a good interview out of him.
I'm sure. You wanna tag him and just mess around and find out.
Alright, I will.
He's more likely to react to your tag. Grab a drink while we're waiting. How much the caution didn't happen? The race was much more interesting in the first half.
I will say I was very happy that caution happened for selfish reasons.
Obvious reasons, yeah. I'm sure Jake was having a moment too.
Yeah.
He'd have been condemned to like 13th if not for that.
We can interview Stotts while we're waiting for Carter, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna fish for interaction on the social media. Start to think you know exactly what I'm about to ask you about. First, kind of two questions. How much pace do you think you had during this race? Do you think you'd have been on track for a podium had things gone to plan?
No doubt, bro. A podium was definitely in the works. I thought, especially at the beginning there, I thought I had second kind of wrapped, you know, around. I thought I had second. I thought that was just going to be where I stayed the whole race, even with the caution, because I figured out that my car runs pretty good on the long run. The time penalty was most likely getting removed because I bled off and this game sucks. But yeah, I definitely had pace for literally a podium, most likely second place, not to toot my own horn, but that's how it was shaping up to be, and that's what I think it was going to be.
Yeah, I think it would have probably been second place since Carter and Travis fought for about 70 years over second after your unfortunate exits during the caution. I caught the second half of what happened there, but yeah, I guess basic. Yeah, what were like? I mean, other than it was wild. What was going through your head? What were you thinking at that exact moment?
I mean, to be fair, I didn't even know who the hell hit me at first. I honestly thought it was Carter at one point. I thought it was Carter at first. I'm not gonna lie, because I knew he was the guy behind me. But because I had Logan muted for obvious reasons, so I had no idea he was talking. So when I finally got word it was Logan, I kind of just shrugged and was like, was it a surprise? Should I be shocked? I mean, it's this touch. It's the same stuff with the guy, man. It's unfortunate. This guy causes problems, and he gets these chances to do better. He can't race our NASCAR National because he sucks and makes dumb choices. Or did I say National? I meant Cup. I don't know. He can't race Rallycross because he sucks and can't make good decisions. And he's most likely not racing Indycar because he sucks and makes bad decisions. So I think it's come to a point where we need to respectfully remove him from the league, and we move on with our day and have a great rest of the IndyCar season. I do want to shout out Travis real quick because the brother brought it home fourth. Wait, or did he get a podium? I don't know.
I got third.
What?
I got third.
You got third, perfect. See, so it worked. I'm sorry if you hear my mother in the background. She brought Travis bring home a third for Conga Line is great. I think Jamie got a top 10, so it is great to see at least 2 top 10s by the Klee organization, despite me getting absolutely banged from behind. So, but there you go.
Well, there goes the monetization. Thank you for that, Matthew Stotts, for your incredible interview.
24/7.
No, thank you. Anyway, moving on to our unofficial third place finisher after penalty removals, because the bus stop is funny, and because also Connor Hennick's not in here. So Travis Van Oostendorp. I'm gonna kind of like flash back to your battle for the ages against Carter Ritchie. Were you in defense mode, or were you just in kind of like exist mode? Did you really care if he even got around you?
I didn't really care because I thought I could stay in the draft, but I was on like way older tires, because I took my tires in that 5, and they waited another 6 laps until the caution came, and they got all their tires on. Because I couldn't take tires on that caution because I needed to gain track position back, and I was fighting to stay ahead of him. I had no tires left. I had no front end grip at all. I couldn't turn in at all. I had to brake really early to get a good run off, and by then he would already be off the corner. So I was trying to stay with him once he got past me, and then I got that weird penalty, and I slowed down a bunch, and I couldn't get back up to him. It was kind of exist, kind of fight him off. I couldn't really do anything. I knew he was going to get by me. I just didn't know how much I could battle him.
I don't think anybody expected that to take as long as it did. That took like 10 laps almost before Carter finally broke through. And then I imagine that penalty you got is the reason that Connor was in your neighborhood as well.
Yeah, you have to back off so much here once you just go off in the grass a tiny bit. For no reason, really. The game just doesn't know how to compute that, I guess. I don't know. And he just got right back in my draft after that happened, and then he got around me, and I was just hoping he would mess up, and he did, so. At least I came in with 3rd, I'll take that. I don't really know what else to say. It's just a bunch of weird penalties.
And then, 2nd place, Carter Ritchie. I don't want to be that guy and just focus back on the Travis battle, so I'm just more going to go for your mindset of... I'm...
Yeah, I don't know. He never joined.
Alright, there I go, jumping to conclusions. I guess we'll ask...
He said he needs to know who to the party.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. He's a broadcaster. What?
He might have a different party. Yeah, he's not in this party.
Oh, well, that's
I'll add him.
bizarre. Oh, I'm already doing it.
Alright.
Okay, and that's confusing. The broadcasters party is supposed to be a party for the broadcasters, heaven forbid. There is the 2nd place finisher. 2nd place after taking half an eternity to get around the worn tires of Travis. It seems kind of almost obvious of like the mindset in your head was that wait for mistake or push to get it done yourself.
I had saved up a lot of my ERS or whatever it's called.
Push to pass.
Yeah, so I saved up a couple of those. I left my duck open there. It was a little bit too close, so I had a lot of energy. Maybe if I put on the straight stuff, that kept me in it, but I guess it was the right time. Made a couple mistakes, and I knew I'd be faster. But once I got past.
Yeah, the slipstream cannot do everything, as we have just seen there. Especially if you can break it early. It's your position to lose, and nobody knows that better than our resident North Dakota native Bowen 737 in the background. As I drop my TV remote, Dylan, I forgot how to actually say your name. Is it Bomb or is it Bam?
It's Bam.
I've been saying Bomb this entire time, and you told me once, and I corrected it for the following race, but then I think I had like a week off after that, and by the time we came back, I was like, what is this guy's name again? Alright, so, yeah, Dylan Bam, I'm going to pull a page out of the old F1 interviews. What do you think made the difference in your car's performance of everybody else's? Was it the cornering grip or the straight line speed it had?
I can tell you it was the straight line speed, and maybe to be more specific, the straight line speed through the banking and all the bumps that are there. I made some changes to the suspension, and it seemed to, like, it still bumped and was sort of bottomed out, but, like, it didn't seem as bad, and it definitely seemed faster than everyone else to the banking, so I think that was the sort of big difference today.
Yeah, cars go a lot faster when they're not scraping their floor on the floor. What? Floor on the ground. And then obviously, once he got a few seconds of a lead, it was just kind of maintain mode. Is there even like a question in your head of, is somebody on this track faster than me?
No, there wasn't.
I suppose you'd have to look at the interval for that, and nobody was ever coming up on it, so... Yeah, a very clear engineered victory for Champ Racing and for Dylan Bam, as apparently that name is set. And those are the interview questions I have in mind, because I've gotten the interaction bait. Probably try to find some quote later for AJ to post. And the 3 podium interviews, so that'll conclude matters here for the first round of ARC IndyCar. Tomorrow, the next broadcast you'll be seeing, and once again, be myself bringing you the 4th annual ARC Ice Race, or in other words, the 8th round of the ARX Championship from the San Paulo Ice Circuit. So, that'll be interesting. That'll be more in my element living in Minnesota. I know a few things about driving in the snow. You wouldn't think it, because I don't think I did very well in that race, but that's beside the point. Actually, no, I remember what happened. I was doing well. Then I got wrecked by Logan, but that's beside the point. Before I make any more controversy, because it feels so empty without me, that'll conclude things for today's broadcast. Tuesday will be the San Paulo Ice Race. Friday is I think AF1 is back. I do not remember what circuit it is, though. So, I'm sure most of the people can just look in the Discord. I can look in the Discord, but I kind of want to end the stream. So, yeah, until tomorrow, and/or AF1, and/or etc. Goodbye.